trick question, but you've had the same starting offensive line combination for the last 2 games. So is there a quantifiable measure of continuity?
Geez, those are some big words. I would say yes, if I'm understanding your question correctly. No, I mean, when you can get consistency, even a little bit rolling, I think it just, I mean, you learn about steps, put the guy next to you, his footwork, like how do you fit into that, how he fits into your playing style, so it's great to have consistency going all around.
You mentioned the guy next to you. What have you thought of Tao in the last couple games playing there?
I thought he's really stepped up. I mean, we were all in his position once. I remember my rookie year. And he just keeps improving, has a good attitude about it, just a really silent worker, just puts his head down and goes to work. So happy to be playing next to him.
What about you? How have you felt in these last 4 games getting back?
As far as physically or mentally?
Well, everything.
My legs hurt. Mentally, I'm a little tired. Who isn't? But I'm happy to be back. I'm grateful to be back playing. I'm here to play. I'm here to win. So feeling good about it.
You spent a lot of time with trainers, rehabbing, for that period of time. Talk about what it meant for you to have people working with you like that day in, day out, and what they helped you to do to get back to where you are right now.
I mean, there was a lot of different things, and that stuff still goes on. Obviously, you're never really 100% when you play, but I mean, I appreciate them and the time they took with me. It was very long, it was very arduous, it was very painful at times, but all necessary. I really wasn't concerned about it because I kind of knew the plan coming into it, so I knew it was going to be a longer thing, and attacked it as best I could.
When it comes to Zach Charbonnet and his style of running, right? Not necessarily comparing it to Ken Walker, but what do you just like about the way Zach either sees the game or runs?
I think with Ken and Zach both, it's they both kind of have different styles of rushing. I would say Ken is a little bit more finesse in my eyes, and I love the way that both of them compete. And Zach's a hard-nosed kind of thutter hitter. He loves contact. Now, that's not to say that Ken doesn't love contact or that Zach can't be elusive as well, but I think when you have 2 running backs that are that good, interchanging in and out, and then we got guys like Kenny as well in the mix. It's tough to beat. It's tough to stop.
What have you gotten to know gotten to learn about Scott Huff in the time he's been coaching you?
What have I gotten to learn about him?
Yeah, as you've gotten to know him, what stands out about him?
Well, he coached at UW. That sucks. Now, he actually recruited me back in the day when he was at Boise, and I like Coach Huff. It's a little bit too early, I think, to tell. I don't think he's given up all the tricks of the trade just yet. But then again, it's the first year, and so going into next year and the year after that and the year after that, hopefully we'll see just continued growth with him.
His offensive line to come out of a game with a season high rushing yards and no sacks. Just how rewarding of a game is that for the 5 of you?
Say that one more time.
Just how rewarding is that kind of performance for the 5 of you when the stat line shows no sacks and season high rushing?
It's great. It's kind of what we expect. I don't get too excited, I don't think. I just try to, it's a game-to-game thing. Every front's different. Every team has different players, different athletes. It's not just as simple as, hey, just, go run the ball a bunch and get a bunch of yards. There's different techniques and stuff you have to employ, and when it all comes together, it's great.
You see your defense every day in practice. What makes them so unique and so special?
I think Coach McDonald has, he's obviously a defensive guy, but he's really brought the defense together and schemed up, things based on their individual strengths, and it just, things take a little while to get going sometimes, but they started firing on all cylinders, and they have the past few weeks, and they're just going to continue to get better. So, you got guys like Jaron Reed and Leonard in the middle, and then you got Boye, D. Hall, Draymond off the edge, and then you got the secondary. Things are really looking up for that defense, and they're just going to continue to go upward.
Jones said that your guys' playoff mode is sort of like the death zone, but fans kind of like the idea of death zone for the defense. Would you like that moniker for them?
Yeah, it's fine. If that's what they want to call it, I don't care. I got to go against them anyway, so.
In an era where a lot of players, younger players, are choosing to move over to the defensive side as opposed to being an offensive lineman, I'm curious, why did you choose offensive line? Why did you stick with it?
I don't know if I actually chose it. I just realized that defensive end probably wasn't going to work out for me because of my size, and then I had a wide frame, and I put on a bunch of weight. So there's not too many plus 300-pound defensive ends, I think, at all in the NFL or in college for that matter. But I don't know. It's something that just kind of finds you, I guess, in my case. And, I mean, it's fine. I like my position. You know, it was my last year of high school. I was just kind of like, okay, probably not going to be a defensive player. Probably going to be an offensive lineman, so I better get used to it.
Are there tackles or right tackles or tackles in general that you watch or that you look to and you kind of admire their games?
Yeah, there's a few. I like, I know Brian O'Neill a little bit for the Vikings. He's a great tackle. I think Penei Sewell is probably upwards to the best. Him and Lane Johnson from the Eagles. I really respect all their games, and you know, it's not just right tackle. I watch left tackles too. You know, I know Garrett Bowles for the Broncos. He's a beast. So there's a lot of guys, and then I watch, you know, the guys on our team. I pick up stuff from Charles and Jason Peters and such. So.
What are the things that you look at when you look at another tackle and that makes you respect their game?
Just efficiency, technique, what they do, how they do it, their attitude, hand placement, how they fit in their scheme, you know. I mean, you could pick up different little tools from everybody, you know. I mean, that's kind of the beauty of it. Is you don't have to stick to one sort of thing. You can just continue adding tools to your toolbox.
DK Metcalf says he blocks like an offensive lineman. How would you rate his tenacity and his ability to block?
I think DK does a great job blocking. I like his mentality. Kind of when he gets going, it's pretty hard to stop him. But he's ferocious. He just, you know, he's not a guy that takes any crap from anybody. And you know, you like that. I think he'd be a good offensive lineman if he was to play O-line.
He'd have to put on a few pounds.
Yeah. I mean, and you know, I kind of wish I looked like him, but you know.
Abe, speaking of DK, he said yesterday that Mike Macdonald's defensive mind, that he helps him understand offenses, cornerbacks in his position a little bit better. Would you say that's the same thing? I understand defenses, I meant to say, but would you say that's the same for you from the coach?
Like, is that how I see Mike's mind kind of working?
Yeah, how
Or-
he looks at
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
God, I don't know what goes on in his mind. He's hard to read, but no, I mean he's a savant, like genius, you know, and he like the way he kind of talks and like he's a football guy for sure, you know, and it makes, I think it makes it easier on that defense, but it also, as an offensive player, just listening to him talk schemes and stuff and just rattle it off and just be like so on point and precise, it's easier for us, I think, as offensive players to be like, yeah, this guy knows what he's talking about and he's going to dial up the best plan for us. And, you know, he obviously respects the offensive game, so it makes it that much easier to follow. So I would agree.
You guys have been running a lot of counters and, you know, you pull in on a lot of those plays. Talk about what that is like for you as a right tackle. Do you like blocking and moving and what does that mean physically for the defense to have to see you coming?
I think you'd have to ask defensive players what it would mean for them to see me coming around. Some probably wouldn't care. Some, I don't know, maybe they're freaked out. I don't know. But, I mean, it's call it haul it execution type of thing. I mean, I'm not, if they call more, great. If they call other plays, fine. You know, I'm not really, I mean, do I get to pull? Yeah, that's nice to go. If I can crack some people, that's great. But if not, there's other plays I can crack people on too. So I'm not really worried about it.
Thank you.